Hello, welcome back to another episode of Pod Life Express. Today we're going to talk a little bit about holiness. I believe that most of us would have a general understanding as to what holy is. We would describe something that is holy, something that's pure, moral, sacred, worthy of respect. Maybe you have a holy day in your life, a holy place, holy circumstances. But if we shift our definition a bit as to what God has set to be holy, it may help us understand holiness in Scripture. To be holy is to be different, or to be set apart, separate. In the Old Testament, particularly Leviticus, we see that God's people had actions that made them unholy. And in order to make themselves holy again, so they could come into the presence of the Lord, they had to follow rituals. One of these rituals is that God's people could not touch things that pertain to death. However, the prophet Isaiah was given a vision that this was going to change. In Isaiah chapter 6, verses 6 and 7, it says, "Then one of the seraphim flew to me, and in his hand was a glowing coal that he had taken from the altar with tongs. He touched my mouth with it and said, 'Now that this has touched your lips, your wickedness is removed, and your sin is atoned for.'" This shows us that there was going to be someone who would come, and contrary to our touch making him unholy, his touch would sanctify us and give us life. Throughout his ministry, Jesus Christ spoke with, performed miracles, healed, and taught people who society had deemed as untouchable or unholy, and he never once stopped being holy. He himself was never not made holy. Rather, his touch brought life. Hebrews 2 tells us that Jesus had come to make us holy, and in doing so, we become family. He's not ashamed to call us brothers and sisters, to say our name before the Father. And throughout Scripture, we see ordinary things made holy. Jesus creates Holy Communion with his disciples, where he consecrates normal bread and normal wine as his body and his blood. And to this day, that bread and that wine is holy to us, and we partake it in remembrance of him. Places that were just once ordinary land become holy ground, according to God. Sinners like you and me, who are just ordinary people, become friends of a holy, everlasting, and loving King. Theologian R.C. Sproul says it beautifully. It's not because of the intrinsic value of these objects, but what makes them sacred, what makes something holy, is the touch of God upon it. I hope this message today was able to impact you in some way. God bless, and until next time.